3, 2, 1.
WKAT Kokomo.
Good morning, YouTube. I'm so happy you could be here with me. Alright, today I really don't have a whole lot. What I do have is a small channel update. So sit back, enjoy a cup of coffee, and let's get started. Firstly, I would like to discuss Daniel Nations. He's out of jail. As most people know, that when I got a hold of him last, I told him, I says, hey, you know what? You're getting out of jail. This before I knew he was heading back to Colorado. I mean, you know, being extradited. I said, you're welcome to come up, spend a few days. You can make a video, explain your side, so forth. I talked to him for months, from the time of his arrest until recent, in letter and telephone. Did what I could for him. I included in my videos his statement of innocence. I think most people seen that. I had it uploaded on my channel for quite a while. The first thing I hear from Daniel when he gets out of jail is he got on there and he said, you will take this video off of YouTube. It has a picture of my kids in it, or I will see your ass in court. To which I replied, fuck you. He did not like that. So he went to YouTube. He went to YouTube over it. YouTube sent me a letter. He said, well, we have a privacy report against this video. You have 48 hours to remove this video, or we'll look at it to see if this privacy complaint has merit. So I went back and I told him. I says, you know what? Had you got a hold of me, said hello, hey, could you remove this or re-edit it? Would have been done in a minute. But to come on there acting like a douchebag, you need a douchebag's reward. I need a humble apology for that shit, Daniel. Didn't get it. Did not get it, man. In fact, he continued on. Called me a joke. No explanation at all on that. And a liar? I have no clue on that. The only thing that I ever told him I lied about was my belief that he was guilty. Because I did have belief that he could have played a hand in the Delphi murders. Especially off the go. I told him that. He got pissed. Okay, he got pissed. He's in jail. He has every right to be pissed. That's me. But when I told him I needed a humble apology and then he refused to give that, I told him, I says, well, you know what? I have your permission to upload that video of your statement of innocence. It says so right there in the letter. The next one that I make, the next time I upload it, it will have every piece of evidence ever brought against you or your family in a court of law. He didn't want that, but he still refused to apologize. So if you all would like to see that video put up for the whole world to see, I don't think Daniel would be pleased about it. I don't think he'd be happy about it at all. In fact, that might be a life changer in my opinion. You see, the whole time I was in communication with him, I never mentioned one time in my videos anything that he had said. Really nothing. In fact, the bare minimum that he was innocent, he had nothing to do with the Delphi murders and so forth, that was it. If he didn't say I could upload it, it never went onto video. I was very truthful, very honest, and this is where it lies. If you want to see a video on Daniel Nations and his family and everything brought against him in court, comment below. I'd be happy to get that to you. In fact, at this point, I would have a pleasure editing it. Speaking of editing it, I'm looking at a new PC. Check it out. This has better graphics than what I'm working with. I'm working with an older Windows 7 dual-core computer. This would edit in a much better fashion. The rendering would be faster, the upload would be faster, and I could run live shows. Let me know your thoughts. It is an i5, it's a quad core. I was looking at the i7 that has better graphics. It goes a little bit above my budget. but it is a good computer. I need something to get fully above date so I don't have to worry about my Windows going down again. I like all the older Windows. You bring in that Windows 10, people, it sucks. It sucks. It's made to suck. It's like Chinese shit. That's exactly what it is. But once I can run a live show, this is my hope. I want to run like a live YouTube. Have a live show on. And really one of my first guests is going to be Michael Griffey. And I don't know if too many people remember who he is. He wrote the first book, and I think that was in 71 or 72. It's called Lynch, The Story of Amber Green. And just came out a couple months ago with the second one, 40-some years later. But he did the research on the first book. It was like mainly newspaper clippings, you know. But the second one was in more of a story format and condensed. Really good book, and I want to have him on. He agreed that he would do a live interview. So I would like to have him on the show. If anybody out there knows the story of Amber Green, the two biggest unsolved cases in Carroll County, Indiana, is one, the Delphi murders, and two, Amber Green. So they hung Amber Green. They lynched him. Put him up on a tree right beside my dad's yard, right up the road from where the Delphi murders happened. Straight down that road. So I want to get him on. Also, if anybody knows about Jason Dale Bolton, a 16-year-old kid that lived down by Connorsville. He was ran over by a car in 1991. Called a murder. A lot of evidence in that points to it being a murder. And his sister, and her name is Tommy Bolton Schmid, S-C-H-I-D. She's related to me. And that when she first popped on my Facebook and friended me, I thought this is a relative, because we had one friend in common. It was a cousin in Kokomo that I have. But she was watching my Delphi videos and then commented to me one day, and I asked her, I said, are we related? She goes, I don't think so. Why? I said, my dad's last name is Bolton. She's like, so was mine. Well, we are related. And we talked on the phone the other day, and she agreed that she would do a live interview show with me. So I would like to get her on there. If anybody knows the specifics of that case, I would be happy to have you call while she's there. That would be really cool. We could get some live question and answer. Let's see. Pretty much about sums it up. Not quite. I was talking to my neighbor last night. This is my oldest neighbor. I think she has the most seniority here where I live by 1 month. I moved in 1 month after her over a decade ago. And she's from Fort Wayne. So when I asked her if she heard about the April Tinsley case, she's like, oh yeah. I said, well, you know, they arrested that guy up there. I'm like, yeah, I've seen it. She was in Fort Wayne when it happened. And she said, I grew up in Grayville, same place where he was arrested. And her husband lived in the same trailer park as that man did before they got married. So I kind of wanted to do a interview with them. Now, neither one of them know the guy. Neither one of them know John D. Miller or had seen him or anything like that. But I thought that it was kind of odd. You know, that my neighbor living beside me had lived right there, and her husband lived, like, in the same trailer park where the guy lived. So, anyway, I would like to kind of run just a little interview with them, you know, maybe get a little bit material out there on it. But as far as a real connection between John Miller and the Delphi crime, there is none. There's the connections of the DNA. He didn't have DNA in the database, neither did Delphi murderer. This guy was brought to court and arrested because of the family DNA done by C.C. Moore. Narrowed it down to a family and says one of these two guys, they checked their DNA, and bam, guess what? That guy was hit 30-some years later. But I don't think that John Miller came down here. Now, what I did point out was the irony that 2 hours up the road drive, there's a monster. Stalks little girls. Little girls. Real little. Now over here you have an identical, you know, DNA not in the database, we don't know his name, pixelated image, the whole nine like that. Coincidence, you got two monsters living that close up the road. I want that solved, and like I said, I done requested, you know, done asked CC Moore if she would look at it, but it's not on her. That's on law enforcement to ask her. And if law enforcement isn't going to ask her, then apparently law enforcement doesn't want this monster caught. And since it's been well over a year since the crime happened, it seemed clear to me for months and months and months and months that they do not want it solved. They don't. If they did, they wouldn't be out there lying. If they did, they wouldn't be out there talking to us like we're two. If they did, they wouldn't be ducking questions. If they did, they wouldn't a lot of things. But the fact is, the guy ain't arrested. That's on law enforcement. That's who you need to look at, law enforcement. That's their problem. Our problem is the guy's still free. You have kids, monster's still free. That monster that kills kids, he's out there. Law enforcement ain't going to do anything for you. They want to stick a security camera up your butt so you can never get away from them. But I want you to remember, this guy here, the Delphi suspect, he was caught on video and audio. Didn't do him any good. And I wrote to the sheriff, I said, you know what? If I ever go into a hiking area like that to get away from you revenue collectors, and I see a camera, I'll destroy it and I'll throw it on the courthouse lawn. I'll have a note attached that will say, fuck you. I'm not about the all-seeing eye. I'm about justice, common law. Let's find this man, you know? Law enforcement, are you on our side? Or are you just about revenue? What is it? What is it, law enforcement? I already know the answer, but I'd like to hear law enforcement comment, oh no, we're all about justice, real justice. Yeah, we ain't about having every law in the world on you ignorant fuckers. No, we ain't about that. Yeah, you are. That's the whole point of being a cop. It's playing master. Comply or die, that sort of shit. I want people who are ignorant on this, and that would probably be, well over 98, 99, maybe even more of that percent. Look at the constitutional rights you have, Bill of Rights. You are a free common law king, a sovereign king. The only way that you ever could have been brought to court is on common law. That means that you hurt someone or you hurt their property. If that never happened, you never should be in court. They should never take a thing you own. Not one dime, not your property, nothing. But man, we settled out, man. We did. The American people said, well, it's for our own good. Yeah, we said that like about 100 years ago, and we never stopped. We lost our sack, man. We ain't got no balls. We have no balls at all in this country. If you think we do, look around. It's nothing but a bunch of idiots that I see. And speaking of idiots, I didn't want to be a bad dude. I didn't want to be a bad dude to Daniel Nations. I was trying to at least friend him. Let him know, hey man, you got some support. He wanted to be a dick. Should I be a dick in return? Or should I just let that slide? Nah, I won't let it slide. I ain't that kind of dude. Speaking of that kind of dude, I'll see you all in my next video. Peace.
Thank you.